Hey everybody, it's Tim and Steve, and how you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about horror movies tonight.
We're talking about our favorite horror movies, and we want to hear your favorite horror movies. Welcome everybody to Phantom History House Calls. Okay, so here we are. We're in our a little bit more casual t-shirts tonight.
Yeah, so we don't have a guest this evening, so we decided to dress down a little.
But don't sign off just because of that, because it's going to be really fun, and we want you to be typing into the comment section about your favorite horror movies. But before we get to that, there's a lot going on during the summer here at Phantom History House. You'd think it might be tired and sleepy, but no. Well, it might be tired.
Well, we're tired and sleepy, but not the house. No, you're right. There's a lot going on. I mean, it is never too soon to start planning for spooky season, so we've already started doing that. And you've heard us talk about it before. We are entering wedding season, and we have our first wedding scheduled.
We do. We're very excited. But the couple that won the wedding giveaway has scheduled their date, and they have started making plans. And we have a definite wedding that's going to happen this summer. We're so excited about it. So to that wonderful couple, thank you for trusting us to help you make your special day something hopefully really awesome.
Yeah, and of course we are having our wedding open house coming up very soon on the 14th of June, which is a Friday. We're pitching it as kind of like a date night. So if you and your significant other are looking for a venue in which to get married, we invite you to come out, check out the place, have some food, and we have some wedding planners that'll be here that night to kind of help you envision what it'll look like.
Absolutely. If you're thinking you might want to use Phantom History House for a wedding between now and the end of next year, 2025, and you book that night, get $500 off. $500.
Yeah.
That is a lot. I mean, that would pay for like something really big.
Yeah, that would be like a trip to the grocery store.
But anyway, we hope that you'll come. We're also doing 2 wedding expos this summer, which we're excited about. You can see the events and the times and the dates and everything on the events page at phantomhistoryhouse.com. So we are going to be out and about with our skeletons.
Yes, and speaking of which, because we are expecting to have a crowd here for our open house, and because we have our very first wedding scheduled, we spent a weekend recently, I think it was Memorial Day weekend actually, to doing some promo shots of of the front of the house and also our skeletons, who we decided to deck out in a bride and groom fashion. So we had Eugene, who is the one who was holding the lantern, was decked out wearing his top hat, while Pickles was out as well and was wearing the veil.
And here you can see them, everybody. So this is our plan. We're so excited about this idea. So our 2 skeletons will be like this in front of the door. It's such a great shot. If you're coming to the wedding, it's a great photograph opportunity.
Yep.
Our bride and groom skeletons here at Phantom History House. We're really proud of that. And that was a lot more work than we thought it was going to be to set that up.
It was also 1,000,000 degrees, which made it a little challenging too. But we were really happy with the end result, and we know now what it'll be like to set them up for any weddings that we have here, and of course for the open house. So it was a lot of fun. And again, our neighbors are fantastic. They stop by, are like, "Hey, what are you doing? Do I need to take a picture?" "Yes, you do. Thank you." So it's really good to have their help.
Yeah, it was
as
wonderful.
always.
And we are, as you already kind of mentioned in passing, we are already getting ready for the big Halloween season, everybody. You and our friend Lee have been working really hard on a special project, and we're starting to let the cat out of the bag now, so to speak.
Yes.
For what we're doing for Halloween. One of the things we're doing for Halloween. So do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, this is something to do for decor for Halloween. So not an event yet, but we are going to be working on those very soon. But yeah, we decided to go with a ghostly theme this year. So I had seen this online and kind of wanted to make it our own. So, and I needed the artistic help of our friend Lee, who is an artist, to create ghosts in a way that look cool during the day and spooky at night. So we have spent a couple weekends piecing together ghosts, and we actually put together a promo video, which we shared online the other day, which has been viewed like crazy, that we decided we would show you now, and then we'll talk about what they are.
All right, so watch this, and then we'll be back to talk about it. And by the way, tell us where you are. Comment in the comments section. Hello, everybody. We are talking about horror movies tonight. Those chicken wire ghosts are very cool. They're here now. If you come to see us and hopefully come spend a little time this summer at Phantom History House, you can see them and you can go and take your picture. And they look really great at night. You guys did great work.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and thank you to Lee for the help. And we only have a little bit of scratches on our arms and stuff left over from that chicken wire, but it was a lot of fun to put together, and more plans over the summer to get ready for Halloween, which will be here before we know it.
Last thing I'm going to say before we jump into our conversation about horror movies, and I hope that you're thinking about your favorite horror movies and that you're going to type those into the comment section. But here's the last thing we're going to say. We have a special going this summer. Any room on a weekday night is only $125. It's basically competitive with the hotels around here whose rates go down in this time of year. And we're like, we want people to come. Listen, everybody, you need a break, right? You could use a night off or a little getaway with your girlfriends or your significant other or whoever you want to bring, or just come by yourself and have a really quiet evening or afternoon and evening in the library. I mean, we've had people come and just sit in there and read and be quiet. It's very quiet here. It's very peaceful. You deserve a break. Come see us and book a room.
Yeah, and you could actually stay this weekend. Come see us, and Brian will be here on Friday doing our last seance of the season.
Absolutely.
Before he is going to be back in spooky season because he'll be out of town for the summer. So he's also doing readings on Friday during the day. So there's still some space available for those. And there's a few more seats left for the seance that night. So make sure that you guys get a chance to catch him before he's gone for the next couple months.
That's right. So that is this week, everybody. 2 days away. This Friday, the seance is the last one before the fall. So come on and book a room or just come to the seance or whatever. He's here for readings too, as you said. Hi, Chris and Kristen. Thank you guys so much for watching. We want you to tell us about your favorite horror movie. So where do we start? Actually, I know where I want to start this conversation.
Well, I'm surprised that you picked this topic because you don't like horror movies.
I am not a big fan of horror movies, but I like some. And that's what I was going to talk about. Okay. What makes a movie a horror movie? Because some of the movies I'm prepared tonight to talk about certain movies that I know I've enjoyed, right? But what makes it a horror movie?
Well, if it freaks you out, it's a horror movie.
Really?
I think we can be pretty loose with it. I mean, because there's such a span. I mean, you have Alien, which is a sci-fi movie, but it's a haunted house movie in space, so it's a horror movie. But you also have Rosemary's Baby, which is a psychological thriller, or Silence of the Lambs. I think that is also a horror movie. So I think it's pretty broad.
Well, I like all of those.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so how do we start?
Well,
we start with one?
Start with one. What is a horror movie? Let me phrase it this way. What is a horror movie that impacted you so much that you're like, whoa, this, I still remember it very well.
Oh, that's where we're starting?
That's where we're starting.
We're starting with the whoa?
Yes.
The whoa about the woo?
Yeah, because I have a whoa about the woo.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, if you got one.
Okay, well, I was not going to start with that, but I'll jump right to it then. So how about Sixth Sense?
Great movie.
Does that count?
Yeah, that definitely counts.
It's scary, and there's ghosts and. Okay, that movie. It was. I will always remember sitting in the theater. That's a movie I was really happy I saw in the movie theater.
Yeah.
I remember where I was sitting, who I was sitting next to, and that moment comes. Not to give everything away, everybody, if you haven't seen it for some reason, but there's a big twist at the end where you're like, oh my God, my mind was blown. And all of a sudden you go back and rethink the whole movie again. Yeah. I thought that was amazing. And I will never forget that. So that's a wow for me.
Yeah. And, I don't know if it's a spoiler 20 years later, but that twist at the end does make you change your perception whenever you do watch it a second time.
Well, that was my favorite thing too, was it's so beautifully crafted that I went back to the theater again to watch it and watch for all those things. And that's one of the reasons I love still watching it to this day. I have pulled it out in there for us to watch again.
I saw it sitting on our TV.
I pulled out the Blu-ray. But once you understand the surprise at the end of this movie, then if you go back and you watch the movie with that in mind, then you see how beautifully crafted it is where you don't realize what's going on the first time.
Right.
The other thing I love about that movie is the filmmaker was very M. Night Shyamalan, right?
Shyamalan.
I don't know if that's how you say it. He was very careful about the use of the color red. You know about this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so the things that are red have great significance, and they're very few and far between. Red. So I loved going back. There's a red doorknob that's really important. There's a red balloon and some other things. I feel like I don't want to give it away, but everybody surely knows it.
I know, yeah, I would think so. I mean, it's famous for being what it is. And to Chris's comment in the comments, he says, not a horror movie fan, but I did like Chucky back in the day. And Chucky was great. I really liked the first one. The ones that followed it turned into like a horror comedy, which still worked for me. But I still liked it.
But that's a genre of horror movies, right?
Right. Anything doll created, doll-like is, like Annabelle, freaks me out, but I like it.
No, anything with dolls is creepy.
So for me, the one movie that was so powerful and so impactful that I will not watch again is Hereditary.
You will not watch again?
I will not watch it again.
Hereditary. I know nothing about this.
Fantastic movie, really well done, but I won't watch it again.
Tell me why. I mean, I obviously am not going to watch it. So not giving away too much. Why will you not watch it again? It's that horrible?
No, it was really
not horrible. I mean, traumatizing?
Disturbing. It was so disturbing. It wasn't scary, like it was creepy. It has its creepy moments. There is like a ghost factor, which of course I love, but the circumstances around this family and this ghost just was so disturbing to me. I'm just like, that is amazing, but I cannot watch this again.
Wow. Hey, Susan, thank you for watching. And anybody who's watching, please tell us what horror movies you like. Type those in. All right. That's not a movie I know, but probably one that I'm clearly not going to see because I'm not a fan of so should I go to my next one?
Sure.
Okay. One of my favorite, how you have memories of seeing movies, right? Not only do you remember the movie itself, but sometimes you have memories of, I kind of said that a minute ago, but memories of seeing a movie in a special way, in a special time or place.
Right. It's like, you think about it, it puts you in a moment in your time.
Okay. So when I was in college, I went down to the student union where they played films and saw Halloween. Ooh. And this was back when Halloween was kind of new. I think it was maybe a year or two. I mean, I'm old, so it was a long time ago, everybody. But I remember sitting in a theater full of crazy, rowdy college kids.
Yeah.
And so the audience, you could just feel the energy, and everybody was so into it. And like when something happened, the whole place just erupted. It wasn't just it was like an event all around me. I do remember really early on in the movie, there's all this like walking around on sidewalks. Yes. Right? Isn't that really big in that movie? Like he keeps appearing off of sidewalks or something.
Well, that's the thing is he's not menacing and right in front of you. He's just lurking,
Right.
And Michael Myers' name, I'm a huge Halloween nut. So shocking, right? So Michael Myers wasn't even really named Michael Myers. I mean, he was called Michael Myers, but the character in the script was called The Shape. He was just The Shape because he was just there.
So I remember early in the film, we're sitting around, you could feel everybody's, something's about to happen, right? And there's this just walking down the sidewalks and that something is going to jump out or something. And it's very tense. And there's this college crowd and it's super rowdy. And all of a sudden, some guy there with his date, grabs her and scares her. And so this girl in the crowd just, it was hilarious. And then the whole place, of course, cracks up and then falls out. It was hilarious. I mean, that was like one of the biggest gotchas I've ever seen.
Well, that's the great thing about seeing a horror movie in a theater is because everybody's in on the fun together, and it's okay to laugh and to be scared. And Halloween shifted the entire genre. It kind of relaunched what horror movies could be. Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, all those followed it. With the guy lurking, Jason doesn't say anything. Freddy is a comedic foe, but Halloween kind of relaunched the whole launched the whole babysitter thing.
I was going to say, was that not a thing before?
Not really.
That's what was new.
Yeah, I mean, things before that were like The Birds or Psycho. I mean, this is stuff that I've read about some horror movies. But when John Carpenter put together Halloween, the whole genre was shifted into a different direction to have this one invincible bad guy. And then here we are, 20 films later with Halloween Ends. And it's just lasted forever. And I love those movies. And I remember watching Halloween and Halloween 2, which is later that same night and the next day. When I was a kid, I would watch it when I'd be homesick. I would watch it on VHS.
That answers so many. That is so informative.
And Susan is valid. She said Jaws down there scares the crap out of me. And The Ring. The Ring is a great one.
Wait, we got to talk about Jaws first.
Oh, yes.
I remember seeing Jaws. So here's how naive I was. I was not a fan of scary movies, right? And so I went to see Jaws, and my friend Alan, who I thought was a good friend of mine, he had seen the movie already.
Ah, okay.
So you know what happened.
He got you at all the jump scares.
Well, one in particular, they're underwater, doing the scuba thing or whatever. And I had said to him, this is how frail I was around horror movies. I said to him, you have to tell me before something scary is going to happen. This was our deal going in. He was going to warn me, okay, something scary is about to happen. So he did that for the first couple, but then they're down under the water, like scuba diving, whatever. And he's like, oh, nothing happens here. You can just relax. So I'm just like, la, 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 just relaxing. And then, of course, horrible things happen.
I don't know if anybody.
I was still mad at you, Alan. At least years later.
I don't know if anybody can relax during Jaws, but at least you.
I know it's ridiculous that I even thought I could.
Yeah,
but a brilliant movie, great one. Now, so she also mentioned The Ring. I've never seen The Ring movies, but I know you love them.
I do. I do. They're really good. It's. If I remember right, The Ring, I believe, is a remake of a Japanese horror movie.
Yes, I know that much.
And the way she crawls out of the well, and you have 7 days or you die after you watch this video. I mean, it's really well done, and that was another one that kind of changed things. Technology, when it was a VHS. So yeah, I really like The Ring too, and I haven't seen that one in a long time. Now, one of my all-time favorites, which I've told guests here before, is the movie The Conjuring, which of course is not that old, and the fourth one comes out, I think, next year. I don't think it's this fall, which has been great, and of course that's based on a true story, of Lorraine and Ed Warren and their investigations of the paranormal. So of course it's right up my alley. And I remember when I saw the original Conjuring in the theater, I was like on the edge of my seat throughout the entire thing because I did not know what was going to happen, which I love. And you've not seen this.
I have not, and you love it so much. Can I handle it? I am a real lightweight around these horror movies, everybody. I mean,
if we watch it like at 11 a.m., maybe, because it is dark. I mean, it does have to do with possession. It is, but it's fascinating and really, really well done. And the second Conjuring is good too. The third one's not bad. But the first two were really good, and I'm hoping that the fourth one will.
Maybe one day we'll watch that.
Yeah,
when I get brave.
Have to tie it all up.
Every now and then I have a moment when I'm like, okay, let's watch something scary, and we do.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned in a couple shows ago we watched Rosemary's Baby recently,
and that's on my list too because I really like. But I like those psychological thrillers. I like the one where there's nobody believes her and something's going on, that kind of thing. I thought that was a fantastic setup for that. If you haven't seen that, everybody. And we're reading the book for book club.
We are reading the book for book club.
Yeah, coming up soon.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to have it done by, is that our October one?
Yeah. Maybe everybody, we're talking about favorite horror movies. If you just signed on, tell us where you're watching from and what horror movies you like. Yeah, it's coming up. I think we're reading it for August.
Yeah, I have to look.
Or September, I don't remember.
Yeah. And Susan, who was here this past weekend, I just realized who Susan was, and her husband, Joe. Joe says the movie that scared him was John Carpenter's The Thing. Did you ever see that?
No.
I did a long time ago.
I mean, I typically didn't go to horror movies, but I don't know. But I saw Alien and I saw Halloween and another one I'm about to mention.
Go for it. Which one?
Well, do we need to talk about The Thing?
Ben agrees. The Thing is amazing. I don't remember it well enough to really comment on it. I know I've seen it.
That's probably something I could handle.
And I know it was scary. And there's an interesting thing in horror movies where there's like a time where the effects went from to really good and then back to a little and now they're good again. So there's like this line, like, not to jump all over the place, but like The Birds. I mean, the effects were just right to be super creepy and to be very scary. But then you look at some of these movies like Night of the Living Dead or whatever, which is really good, but the effects are like, I could tell.
Yeah, but sometimes that's the charm of those older ones.
True.
Right. So Ben, thank you for saying that you think I can handle it. I will probably check that out. I was going to make some dramatic, important point. What were you just saying?
I was saying something really
about effects. Oh man, I had something great to say. All right, I'll think of it, everybody. Sorry.
Well, you were going to talk about another movie before we jump into some of these other comments. You said there
I know what I was going to say. I don't like the gruesome. I like the suspense. I don't mind when things jump out, but I don't want to see anybody's appendage get chopped off or sawed off or anything. Like that's, to me, that sort of gory horror thing, that's totally not my thing. But something that's just scary or suspenseful or there's something, or even things that jump out, I can handle it to a point.
Well, I'm the same way. I mean, if it's gruesome just to be gruesome, no.
I don't understand the allure of that for people.
Yeah. It's not something I get drawn to. I don't want it to be too gross. I don't want to I want to be able to eat my popcorn, which is a very important part of the movie process for me. But Susan is like reading my mind. You know, she just mentioned The Shining. The Shining.
No, I liked The Shining, but that was that kind of psychological thing.
Right. But there's that scene where all the blood comes out of the elevator. So was that gruesome, or was that okay?
No, gruesome is like somebody bleeding.
Okay.
And I mean, I thought The Shining was terrifying. Those little twin girls, like, I mean, that is scary. And him like riding on his like tricycle,
and the whole red rum thing.
Yeah, of course, when you get to the red rum like that. So I like The Shining, but that's the kind of movie I like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's all psychological.
But like anything where it's like gruesome and think people are being stabbed and there's blood splurting,
Well, to that, you know, Saw was really, really good, but it was gruesome. But Saw, the first one, I really, really liked. Because again, it was another one.
What is it about sawing body parts off?
I mean, yeah. That happens.
But you like this?
Well, yeah, but yeah, Kristen, the Saw movies equal gruesome. I saw like the first three and maybe the first two, and after that I was like, okay, this is too much for me. But the first one puts you in a place you're like, oh my gosh, what would I do? Because they're in a test and they can get out of it. Maybe.
Okay.
But then after that, they just got gross. So that's what.
Okay. So I like those. I like all that kind of stuff. I just feel like sometimes they feel like they have to keep topping themselves.
Yes.
And it just gets more and more over the top, and that's where they lose me. Okay. So I was going to mention a movie. I went into this movie and I knew nothing about it. Nothing about it. In fact, I don't even think I knew what a poltergeist was. But I went in to see Poltergeist seriously, and whenever it came out, it was in the movie theaters, and we just went.
Yeah.
I don't even think I knew it was a scary ghost thing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's how naive I was back in 1980. What was that? 2, 3?
Yeah, it was like
around
ET time, whatever that was.
Yeah, that's like 80, 81, 82, around there. Anyway, yeah, and but I mean, it was amazing. I thought it was a great, great movie, but super scary, especially that part with the clown, of course, because clowns are just horrifying.
And this is what I like. Horror movies have such great quotes. And to Ben's effect, they only move the headstones.
Exactly, Ben. Exactly. I mean, but listen, that's the thing. You have this. This is why this is such a brilliant movie, because all great movies are like this. Like, it builds, it's scary, things happen, you grow, and then you get to the moment.
Yes.
And sorry, everybody, that was really
loud.
loud. And like, there's this great payoff, right?
Yeah.
There's just like, aha! And that is what's so brilliant about Poltergeist, right? Fantastic movie that way. And that was really scary. And then go into the light, Caroline, go into the light. Like, it was amazing.
Now, did you watch the whole trilogy? Did you watch 2 and 3?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I know I didn't watch 3.
Because
I might have watched the second one.
I can't remember if it was 2 or 3, but the bad guy was this creepy old guy that kept coming to the front door, had like the sunken in eyes. He terrified me when I was a kid. And I can't remember the character's name. But yeah, he was really, really creepy.
I don't know. I just don't know if I would be brave enough to have somebody tie a rope to me and then come out covered in jelly.
That's a whole other show. But I don't know what that even means. But they tried
That's part of Poltergeist. Remember,
well,
she goes in to get her. Right, they tie a rope to her,
and then she comes out of the ceiling, right?
Yeah, and they land in the bathtub, and they're all covered in what looks like jelly.
Yeah, it was which was gross. And of course, the whole pool scene in the back with the floating corpses and stuff, which was
all
amazing.
That.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's another one I came to talk about tonight. But what was funny to me is thinking back when I saw it, I literally, it's a Spielberg movie. Let's go, And I had no idea that it was going to be so terrifying.
Yeah, it was so
well
done.
I loved it.
Yeah, I did too. And I think Vic mentioned it earlier in the chat. The Exorcist was the pinnacle of horror movies.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was a phenomenon. That was a cultural.
It still is.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely,
it's true.
And the sequels were the new one is a little bit better. Exorcist Believer, but again, it's trying to top that original is so difficult to do because nothing like that has ever been done before. And Linda Blair was perfect in that role of Little Reagan, and I know she has loved and hated that reputation ever since. But I would
do I have to admit?
Yes, you have to admit it.
I haven't seen it.
He has not seen it
because when it came out, I was young, very young, and I was not allowed to see it. And it's very interesting because we've had guests who are like, "Oh yeah, my parents took me when I was a toddler," and I'm like, "Well, that would not happen. That would not have happened in my house. We were very conservative." But it was just like, heaven forfend, to even think of doing something. So I've seen scenes. I know what it's about. We keep talking about watching it.
We need to.
We keep talking about why, but I'm like, there has to be the right day when it's like I can watch it earlier in the day and I have a lot of time to decompress. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Do you think, you know me a little bit? I don't like this, but I'd like the suspense. Can I handle The Exorcist?
I think you can.
What do you guys think? Let me know. Type it in. Like, let me know. Should I watch The Exorcist? Let me know.
I think you can handle The Exorcist. So another movie that I really liked, but also kind of disturbed me when I was in high school, was when I watched it, was Stephen King's Pet Sematary.
Which Susan just mentioned.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, see,
and Carrie and Cujo.
Great minds. All three are fantastic. Cujo I struggled with because I'm such an animal lover, and it was so hard to watch a dog be so horrible. But Pet Sematary was also challenging because I'm an animal lover. And yes, you want your pet to come back, but then this thing comes with them. But the scene and this kind of ties back to my thing with Hereditary. The part of Pet Sematary that bothered me the most was the scene with the little boy. Have you seen Pet Sematary?
Of course not. Are you kidding?
I should have had him do research before we started this.
Well, yeah, but we hope that would be part of what was interesting about this. I'm sorry, I don't know a lot of horror movies. I'm just bringing to the table what I know. But you're carrying the day very nicely, and people are commenting. It's really helpful.
Well, I mean, it's such a great movie, and the concept is amazing. It's kind of like, okay, do you want somebody back who is not exactly who they were? And that's the big question.
Well, that was recently a plot point in Star Trek Discovery.
That's true. Yeah, we're sci-fi nerds too. So
you guys ever watch Star Trek Discovery? It's really good. But there was a thing where they thought they were going to. One of the characters thought they were going to a place where they could bring their loved one back, and it turned out they could not. They said they could make a replication of them, but not bring their memories and their personality and stuff. Right. And so that's.
And Pet Sematary is kind of like that, but it's they come back, but they're the shell of what they used to be, and of course, something evil is happening.
Kristen mentions the Wax Museum. Now, I saw that. The Vincent Price.
Oh, yeah.
That is scary, especially the big finale. Ooh, terrifying.
I don't remember the finale.
You don't remember?
It's been so long since I've seen it.
Fire.
Yeah.
There's a fire, and everything burns and melts. It's really scary.
What's wrong with you? Going back to that era, I remember as a kid
trying to be dramatic
watching. I don't know who was in it. Maybe it was an Alfred Hitchcock. I don't know, but Premature Burial. I don't know if that sounds.
Oh no! Wait, my what? Oh no! That's like one of my great fears.
Yeah, that movie messed with me as a kid.
Oh no! There's no way. No, I can't even think about that.
Because the concept is, what is it? Edgar Allan Poe.
You go ahead.
Transform. So he has a fear of being buried alive, so he creates this crypt where he has all these ways to escape. So as a kid, I see this. Okay, you're safe. As a kid, I see this, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
terrifying.
This could happen. This could be a really, really
This
big
is
thing.
that thing about the bells in old-fashioned cemeteries.
Yes. If you are a bell ringer for somebody, it means that you were buried alive and you rang the bell and they came and saved you. That's a whole tradition in New Orleans.
Woo! That's terrifying too. But anyway.
Yeah. So another one Kristen mentioned is Wrong Turn. I don't think I saw
Wrong Turn.
Is that Hitchcock too? Or is that I'm thinking Rear Window.
Yeah, there's a lot of Hitchcocks that I don't know if they're horror, but they're certainly scary and suspenseful. So
absolutely.
And I love all of those.
Yeah.
Like Rear Window or all of those.
Yeah. And coming like more to modern day too, a series that I absolutely love that I know you've not seen, but I think you would enjoy is Insidious. The Insidious movies are really, really well done, and it's another one of those that takes the horror genre and twists it in a way that you're like, what?
I just read a comment that I hadn't seen until just now. Go ahead and keep going. Insidious.
I haven't seen the newest one. I think The Red Door is the last one, but. I think that's such a really cool idea of how they're able to take a horror genre and change it in a way that it's something you've never seen before.
Okay, Ben mentioned a movie that did traumatize me when I saw it, and I blocked it out. Ben, I had blocked it out. The Fly.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum. Yes.
Oh my God, that still terrifies me right now. Like that was incredible. incredible. I saw that in the movie theater.
Really? That was
Yes,
such
me.
a good movie.
It was
What
incredible.
were you doing watching the
I
film?
don't know. I mean, because I like Jeff Goldblum, I guess, and I don't know, but like, I guess I was a lot braver. More. I mean, I just went to a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I used to go to movies all the time. I still watch a lot of movies, but not as many. I don't have time as much as I used to.
Yeah,
But I used to go to movies a lot. But I definitely saw The Fly, and it was great.
it was great. It was
But
so
like,
well
you
done.
remember that? Like all of a sudden, there's this one little hair on him that's like different. And it's like, what's that?
What's good? Yeah, the
And you're all like,
metamorphosis was like,
no. Yeah, but by
That's
the
not good.
end, it was so terrifying. Oh my
Mhm.
God. Was it Gina Davis?
yeah, I think Gina Davis was in it
Oh
with them.
gosh,
And,
I haven't thought about that. Thank you, Ben, for that reminder. But that was amazing.
we're gonna have to watch that one.
And that is an effect-based horror movie. Yes,
100%.
that was great, but terrifying. Yeah, and I guess in a good way.
Well, yeah,
Like, I have positive memories of it, but I don't know if I'd want to. I don't know if I want to sit through it again now.
well, yeah, that's one thing
Woo.
that Victor said earlier. You know, we love to be scared. I mean, that's why we like Halloween and the horror movies and all the stuff. Most of us like to be scared. I should say I saw the
Well, I mean, I like a psychological thriller.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
I'm certain I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat at certain.
I mean, this is low hanging fruit, but one of my favorite movies of all time is Silence of the Lambs, which is all about being psychologically thrilling. It says it's saying that right. I mean, it has its gross, scary parts, but the whole scene with Clarice Starling at the end, where she's in the house and it's dark and all you can see is through her night vision goggles.
That's amazing.
I mean, that whole thing was absolutely fantastic.
You know, I haven't seen that in ages. We should watch that.
It's been a while since I've seen it too.
Yeah.
And I'll also say that even though it wasn't as good, Hannibal was good as well.
And you know, that was a big surprise that won the Oscar.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, because it came out early in the year, which is unusual for Oscar movies. Usually they all come out late in the year with their
Mhm.
contenders, and it was the horror movie.
Yeah, I think it was the first horror movie to win.
I
right?
think it might have been.
Yeah.
So it was great. And that, of course, much to my chagrin, that was the year that Beauty and the Beast was also, and everybody thought Beauty and the Beast was going to win.
Yeah. I
And it
think
did
that's
not.
isn't that the year they switched it into best animated and best
No, it was much later.
was later than
It was
that?
much later.
That might have
But
been
it was
the
the Beauty and the Beast is the first animated movie to be nominated for Best Picture. Because back in the day, they only had 5.
right.
It was a huge honor. And from what I read at the time, most people thought it was going to win. But alas,
Right.
Silence of the Lambs cleaned up. But I liked
Fantastic.
Silence of the Lambs. I thought it was really good too. I just, I'm a big Beauty and the Beast fan.
Yeah, and
Big shock.
and I am too. But yeah, Silence of the Lambs was so good. Like I said, Hannibal was pretty good, and the original prequel to Silence of the Lambs, Manhunter, was really good, which is like Hannibal's origin story,
Okay.
which was based off of Hannibal Rising, which is also a book that we have.
Is
in
it
our
the
library.
same actor?
No, Manhunter was like in the 80s, like way before Signs of the Lambs. It was like this small movie, but really well done. It tells you how Hannibal became Hannibal. And the Hannibal TV show was really good too. So,
Well, so we've been rambling on about this for a while. So do we have any conclusions to draw?
horror movies are amazing. But no, I think that the kind of what we talked about at the beginning of the conversation, that a horror movie is whatever you want it to be. It can be Dracula, it can be Frankenstein, it can be Jaws, it can be Alien. I mean, I think we all have certain reactions to certain kinds of movies. And if it gives you that adrenaline push, I think it qualifies as a horror movie. I think that it's something that can be super flexible.
Yeah,
That's my thought.
I think it's great, and I am warming up to it. I'm doing my, trying, but I mean, I know I'm never going to be like a horror movie fan like you are, but I appreciate really great horror films. I do.
But look how far you've come in a year and a half here at Phantom History House. So, there's hope for you yet. We'll get you there.
Well, we'll see. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. Of course, we're doing this every Wednesday night at 7. I will say that next week we are taking the week off.
We're taking them
So
off.
unfortunately, we will not have a show next Wednesday. Sorry, everybody. You can watch a rerun on YouTube anytime if you're missing us. But we will be back. We do have several Wednesdays after that scheduled already. It's okay if I play the quick guest compilation thing?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we want to say thank you. We had some wonderful, wonderful guests. Here's a little compilation of some of them.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
a blast.
Yeah.
And we will be back.
Definitely do the seance if you come.
Yes.
Hey, it was awesome, an awesome
really good.
experience. We loved the Ouija room, but all the rooms are fantastic. You'll love the fireplace downstairs.
Oh, it was gorgeous. Everything is so well done and well put together. Honestly, it is a vibe. We loved it.
Yeah.
We stayed in the portrait room in
I slept more sound last night than I had in years. Loved it.
Oh, I loved it.
Love the attention to detail.
Yes.
Steve and Tim are awesome. They're great conversationalists.
I think it's lovely. There's so much thought that went into this house, and you can tell. And you guys have just been awesome. It's been a really, really great experience so far.
Just each room individually, the way that it's set up, the pictures, the decor, absolutely stunning.
When you walk in, the energy you're going to feel is nothing but welcoming. It is tranquil. It is peaceful. I promise you're going to have a great stay. Don't think, just do.
You guys have to come. You got to try it. You'll have a blast.
So everybody come take a break this summer. Remember, its weekdays are super cheap, only $125 for any room on a weeknight during the summer. We hope that you'll take a little break, get away from it all, come to a nice, quiet, tranquil, air-conditioned place.
Yes, and remember that we are open for paranormal investigations this summer as well. So if you have a paranormal team and you'd like to investigate the house, let us know. Give me an email or give us a call, and we will talk about that. And speaking of spirits and spooky, we do have our seance this Friday with Brian, which is at 7:30.
It's the last one until the fall, everybody. So this is your chance to have some readings or seance Friday.
Yeah, we have a few more tickets left over. So go to phantomhistory.com/events and you can check them all out. And of course, we're always updating. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter. We just sent one out again today. And we have some podcasts in the works in the future. So there's a lot coming up. And we don't take a whole lot of downtime here. So there's a lot coming up.
Yeah, we have a lot going on. So everybody, thank you so much for participating in our conversation tonight. It was really fun. We appreciate all the great suggestions. We didn't even get to mention all of them, but thank you so much for sharing your evening here with us for a little bit. And it was really fun. Come see us.
Yeah, I'm going to go back there and reread some of those. And there's a list of them in my head we didn't talk about.
We have a whole bunch of good suggestions. I think we should watch The Thing.
Okay, we'll watch The Thing. I'm down for that. We'll watch the Thing and we'll watch The Exorcist.
Yeah. Well, they said that they thought I could handle it. So we will report in on our next live show, assuming we've watched it by then.
You'll have your holy water right next to you. We'll be fine.
Dousing myself all the time. Thanks, everybody.
See you later.
Thanks for watching.